You have this dynamic presentation. You took time to put your words together. Finally, that day comes and you arrive. Everything starts well, all parties are punctual, and then it takes off. After 5 seconds, you're turned off. Can you take a guess at what can totally diffuse your excitement and enthusiasm? While you're thinking it, let me welcome you warmly to our program, Wellness and Living. My name is Velma Obata, and our topic today is mouth odor or halitosis. Have you ever had an experience with anyone that has mouth odor? According to Dennis Pragas, a bad mood is like bad breath. Both are very wrong to inflict on others. If you do not brush or floss your teeth daily, food particles could stay in your gum, on your tongue, and later become anaerobic bacteria, and this can result in mouth odor. But you know how we like to do it? We go out to talk with you, to share your experiences, to know your thoughts, and that way we can together bring about lasting solutions. We did that as usual, and here is what we found.
Mouth odor, when somebody come closer to you, you'll be hearing some certain odor, you perceiving some hard odor like that. So that's what I understand by mouth odor.
I feel so bad, honestly, if I come into contact with those people, actually. And what I just do to tell them is just to advise them about
mouth odor. I can't tell if it is from not brushing properly or eating. I don't know. I don't know what's the cause of mouth odor. Seriously, I don't know.
I've met one or two. Yes, and most time I think the cause is when you don't brush very well. Some people don't know that the tongue, that's part of the thing that causes odor. When you're brushing, you brush the up and the down. So people just concentrate on the outer teeth. They just brush up. You don't brush the up and the down and the tongue. Mostly the tongue. If you don't brush your tongue very well, that is where the problem starts from.
Some, they have problem with their sinuses. Those who have problem with their sinuses are going to have mouth odor. Apart from that, I don't think it's the case. I think it has to do with the aeration in the brain. If it doesn't have anywhere to go, it causes a kind of decay inside. And by the time it comes to your blood, to your tongue here, you feel the mouth odor. Mouth odor, it's not something. It's as a result of sinusitis problems.
I have a friend that has a mouth odor, but it's not living here. It's living in my town. Understand? So the way it perceived, it looks somehow that closer to him, it looks somehow.
The right word is not even mouth odor, it's bad breath. We call it bad breath. That's the exact English word. Now, each one around me has a bad breath. I will counsel the person. And also, the person should meet a medical practitioner. It's their field. They are authorities when it comes to bad breath. They will give the person professional advice.
It was awful, but then I didn't know how to talk to the person, even if she was my friend, because it could, I don't know, she might see it as an insult, or she might take it the other way, so I couldn't do anything about it.
I think it's nature, as far as me is concerned. And besides that, I think maybe lack of brushing teeth or whatsoever. I think that one can cause it.
There are some people, when they are close to you, your attitude to the attitude of the person will be able to let you know if you will tell the person or not. The person is this kind of person that understands, doesn't get angry easily. You can easily call the person as a friend and say, oh, this is what I noticed, and if you do that, if you do like this, to stop it. But there are some people, when you try to advise them, it's going to cause a little serious problem that you people cannot even be friends. So in those cases, you avoid not telling the person or seek for advice. What do you think I should do? If
you are able to find out that you have mouth odor, there are so many mouthwash that you can use. That's the local ones which is sell around us here, 200 naira. You can buy it and start to use it. Maybe to reduce that particular thing. Or you have spray, mouth spray. You have mouth spray, it can reduce mouth odor.
We're thinking mouth odor, halitosis, how best to go about it. We want someone who will talk about it and be sensitive to the nature of this mild ailment. Yes, in some cases, it can be devastating because the person who suffers from it is not aware. And in such a case, the spouse may not tell him or her. Your colleagues will not say a word, even your friends. People will just begin to avoid you. So we wanted a medical professional who will handle it with decorum and the etiquette that it deserves. We called on Dr. Ebuta Abu. He talks about measures we can take to prevent it from happening. Okay, perchance it has already happened, and you bring it to a medical professional's notice. There are steps you can take. And after listening to the medical professional, there are things you can do on your own in the privacy of your home.
Halitosis is just bad breath, essentially. Bad odor. It's also called fetor oris. It all boils down to the same thing. A gentleman, a lady opens his or her mouth, and what comes out is very offensive. It's a major cause of social challenges and negative outcomes in interactions. And sadly, a lot of people who have bad breath may not know that they have bad breath, but most people around them would say, you know what, you know that guy, you know that lady, don't go there. And it usually takes a second party to calmly say, look, I think you should go check your breath. Because most times, most people with bad breath will develop what you call tolerance to their mouth odor. So to a large extent, they are not even aware. Groups that allows us to articulate an intervention. So 90% of the situation, the cause of mouth odor is in the mouth, around the mouth. And the remaining percentages will be in areas outside the mouth, maybe the lungs, maybe the gastrointestinal system, the intestines, maybe from conditions or health conditions that impair organ function. So some patients with kidney dysfunction rather, and other patients with liver dysfunction may present. But around the mouth, 9 times out of 10, the cause is in the mouth. And at the top of the list is most times poor oral hygiene. Poor oral hygiene allows, to a large extent, bacteria to accumulate in the mouth. It may interest you to know that every one of us going around may have as much as between 300 to 500 different species of bacteria in our mouth. They are involved in certain forms of interactions, one of them trying to overpower the other, gain more space around there. In the situation where there is an imbalance between the good and the bad, precisely the anaerobic bacteria increase in quantity and population, they are more likely to lead to bad breath, because mainly anaerobic bacteria are likely to produce what we call volatile sulfur compounds. Those volatile sulfur compounds are things like mercaptans and hydrogen sulfide. The second possibility, which is still tied against around poor oral hygiene, is if you have infections of the gum, like gingivitis. So if people open their mouth and you actually can see that the gum is not healthy. Maybe it's bleeding, maybe you can see dental tartar or plaques around there, and then you can see dental caries, rotting of the root of the tooth to a large extent. So that again is an important factor. Periodontal diseases can also cause mouth odor, again because they lead to proliferation of bacteria. Another cause is if you have people who use dental appendages to a large extent, dentures. So dentures are meant to be cleaned properly. They are external additions or equipment you put into your mouth to aid aesthetics and masticulation where necessary. Unfortunately, when they fit into the mouth, sometimes if the fitting is not really proper, they create spaces where bacteria can multiply. And if you are not in the habit of bringing them out to clean them, and maybe keep them outside your mouth overnight, clean them and put them back in the morning, but instead you leave them there all night, the bacteria is going to grow. And as the bacteria grows to a large extent, you have likely chances of gases being produced. Another cause is dry mouth. Interestingly, your saliva has certain properties that modulate the balance between the good and the so-called the bad bacteria around the mouth. So the lack of production of saliva results in an imbalance that favors the bacteria that are involved in mouth odor. That is one. The second thing is that as you produce saliva, you are more likely to clean the mouth. As you produce saliva, you clean bacteria, you reduce the load, you swallow it, and all that. So if you have a dry mouth and you are not doing that cleaning process to a large extent, then the bacteria is to a large extent bound to multiply. So if you have dental procedures that were not properly done and results in recesses around the mouth, that again can cause. And these are basically for oral causes. In treating mouth odor or halitosis, it starts with identifying the cause. So to a large extent, if it is due to poor oral hygiene, most dental hygienists would advise that you should increase your number of brushing. So you should brush twice a day to a large extent. 2, you should brush after you eat, because when you eat, you have deposit of food. They are basically for bacteria can multiply in the presence of food. The third thing is that your tongue is a flora where bacteria are having a ball, so to speak. So you tend to want to reduce the bacterial load by also scraping or brushing the tongue whenever you clean your mouth. Then if you have dentures, you probably would want to take them out over the night, wash it well, and then if you have dry mouth, which is xerostomia, you probably would want to increase your water intake. And then if you are on certain medications like antihypertensive that dehydrate you, antidepressive medications that reduce saliva production, you may probably think of talking with your doctor to alter your medications to reduce the risk of xerostomia. And if it is unknown, you probably want to supplement with dental Salis, which is a gum that contains a chemical called xylitol that increases saliva production as you chew and reduces the load. If you have causes of halitosis that are from other parts of the body, like the liver, the kidney, the lungs, like chest infection, bronchiectasis, you probably would need precise treatment to reduce those conditions and maybe to manage them to a large extent. This would improve the outcome to a large extent.
Elvis Costello says, good manners. Add bad breath to it. It will get you nowhere. So it tells you that this is a very serious condition. It could start mildly, but if left unattended, it could prove to be very embarrassing. It's something that can happen to anyone. If you're careless about your dental hygiene, it could happen to you, whether you're young or whether you're old. Irrespective of gender, male or female, it could affect anyone. Because this can cause mild to serious embarrassment for anyone involved, we thought we'll do some more work, we'll do some more research, so that we'll bring as much information as we can find to the fore, so that everyone who's listening can benefit and can spread the word. And that is exactly what we did. If you don't brush and floss your teeth daily, food particles can remain in your mouth, promoting bacterial growth between your teeth, around the gums, and on the tongue. These, amongst other things, can cause bad breath. Mouth odor is an embarrassing condition caused by a group of anaerobic sulfur-producing bacteria that breathes beneath the surface of the tongue. and often in the throat and tonsil area. This anaerobic bacteria assists in digestion by breaking down proteins into amino acids, and in the process they excrete waste as odorous and bad-tasting compounds that can cause bad breath. A dry mouth gives the perfect environment for the group of anaerobic bacteria that causes mouth odor. Avoiding a dry mouth by stimulating the flow of saliva in your mouth can help rid one of mouth odor. Some simple ways are by chewing gum or mints that are sugar-free. You can also have a bottle of water handy so that you can drink from time to time throughout the day to prevent dryness of the mouth. Brush your teeth at least twice every day, in the morning and at night. It is very important that you do not neglect to brush your teeth at night because while you sleep, little or no saliva is being produced, so anaerobic bacteria may have the perfect environment to thrive throughout your 8-hour sleep routine. It also helps remove food and plaque in your mouth that could nestle underneath or on top of your tongue. Research also shows that fluoride toothpaste should be used alongside brushes that have not too soft bristles, so you do not damage your enamel or gum. It's also advisable to brush your tongue above, at the back, and below if need be, so that over time you will remove anaerobic bacteria from your mouth and prevent mouth odor. If your brush is too big or too small, look around for a brush called the scraper. It does the job very well, according to medical research. Mouthwashes and dental flosses can also be used after meals, especially after meals that contain onions, garlic, dairy, meat, fish, processed sugars, coffees, juices, and other processed foods like cakes, cookies, sweets, ice cream, and lots more. Remember the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, in the case of mouth odor, we can modify it and say, an apple a day keeps the bad breath away. Fibrous fruits like apples, bananas, oranges, and potatoes help moisten the mouth and remove bacteria, thus eradicating mouth odor or halitosis. As always, if symptoms persist after you've done your own personal dental hygiene, you ought to see a medical professional. Very few people, if any, are born with mouth odor. So something that we develop as we grow up. It behoves us as guardians, as parents, to teach our wards and children about dental hygiene. Care for your mouth. If any part of your body is affected, no matter how mildly, it affects the entire body, and then it begins to affect all those around you. But while we ponder on that, it won't hurt to do some mild exercises. Please join us.
To the left, swing your leg. To the right, swing your leg. To the left, swing your leg. To the right. To the left. To the right. Okay. Loose limb. Those tummy exercises. So let's get it started. We are going to lie down prostrate back on the floor, okay? And the idea is to let your left elbow touch your right knee and your right knee touch you, and your right elbow touch your left knee. We'll start with the right elbow to the left knee. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129, 130, 131 upper tummy. Because sometimes when they eat unhealthy meals or they don't exercise often, that's where the excess fat goes to rest, the lower tummy. This is where my hand is placed now. This is my upper tummy, this is my wrist, this is the lower tummy. For some people, this is where the board resides. And I tell you, it is possible to remove it. With consistent and body part specific exercise, you can get your lower tummy, the excess fat to disappear. So this is how we want to start it today. We lie prostrate, back, your back on the floor. You lift your legs up so that your eyes are on the same level with the tip of your toes, okay? So you lower your two legs down at the same time without touching the floor. Okay, so we go again. When we get to 10, we count to 15 and leave the leg in the air. So this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7, this is 8, this is 9, this is 10. When we get to 10, hold your legs in the air. You will feel your body will begin to strain. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You drop it, you feel the strain. If you do this consistently, you will see a definite and a deliberate improvement in this lower region. Let's do one more set, okay? So we go, take it down, don't let your feet touch the floor. Take it low, down, okay? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's hold it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We've been talking about mouth odor today. Every part of your body is important. It's essential you keep every part of your body in proper working condition. It behoves parents and guardians to pass on information about good health to their wards and their children. That way, good and healthy information spreads, because as we grow up, we pass on the information to those coming behind and around us. Dental hygiene is important. Your bright ideas are going nowhere if you have mouth odor or halitosis. Start to work on it today. Floss your teeth as often as you can. Brush your teeth at least twice a day. You've been watching Wellness and Living on the NTA. It's been a pleasure spending time with you, talking and learning more about mouth odor or halitosis. My name is Thelma Obaze. Do join us on our social media handle, Wellness and Living at Nigerian Television Authority. I'd love to spend time with you again. Bye-bye for now.